Hello everyone and welcome back to my weekly AFL fantasy review for round 21. So this week we didn't score very well, as you can see on the screen, 2,220, and I dropped around 100 rankings. So yeah, not a very good result coming off the back of a rank 60 round last week. So yeah, it's pretty disappointing. But I'll just go back to the week before. So yeah, 16,553 round rank, which is very disappointing considering aiming for top 500. And yeah, I blame that on me, to be honest, because as you can see by my trades, I brought in Bontempelli over Bailey Smith. Yeah. So, looking back to last week's video, I said that I was gonna do short to Stewart. Um, so yeah, I'm very, very glad I changed that trade because otherwise my round would have been even more in the bin. So yeah, I dropped from 728 to 833. So I dropped 105 rank. Yeah, which is not very good, but hopefully I can make it up this week. Um, so yeah, my trades. So I traded short because of his the lack of clarity around his position and also his matchup against Port Adelaide. Because I assumed that he was going to play midfield. And Port Adelaide, obviously, we know that they're very hard to score against. But in typical fashion, Short goes and scores 98, which is his highest score for 6 weeks. He scored 90. Oh, it's so frustrating. But now he has Hawthorn where he should ton up, you'd think. But knowing Short, he'd probably go 60 this week with the easy matchup. Then he has Essendon, who's pretty tough. Yeah, so Short was a pretty disappointing trade. Going him to Brayshaw netted me a +2 intake of points. So I guess it's an improvement. Could have been worse, especially since I had Stewart in my team all week. But as soon as I saw the team sheets where St Kilda named Sharman and Owens, I knew that Stewart was going to get tagged. So changed it to Brayshaw, who had the easy matchup against Collingwood, and he looked like he was going to go 130 before he copped a knock to. I think he had a minor hyperextension to his knee, so yeah, he slowed down in the second half and only scored like 37 points for the second half, which is still pretty good, but considering he could have had a massive score, yeah, it's a slight drop off in the second half. But yeah, my other trade, I finally got rid of Anderson, but in typical fashion, he goes ahead and scores 90, and Bontempelli, the guy I brought in, scores 83. I'll blame this one on myself because Bontempelli, he's been under an injury cloud for the past fortnight with that Quilkey. So it was a bit silly bringing him in, but I didn't like anyone else. I had Bailey Smith in my team all week, and then I just got put off. I don't know why I didn't get him. I second guessed myself and just went Bontempelli because I thought he would have had a massive ceiling score against Dockers. Because stepping up, so then the Dogs would make the finals, but that didn't happen. So he scored an 83, no goals, nothing, 3 tackles, 21 touches, pretty under par performance for him, which is quite disappointing because I had Bailey Smith in my team all week. So it's so frustrating. I lost 27 points on that. And if I hadn't made this trade, I would have gained 7 points as well. Anderson, he why did he? I don't understand why he did well against Sydney. I thought Sydney was supposed to be tough, to score against the mids, but yeah, like Anderson scored I think 40, maybe 49 in the first quarter, and I thought that I was done for. Like I actually, while watching that game, I got so sad seeing Anderson go huge in the first quarter. But yeah, he ended up slowing down, which was pretty lucky for me. But yeah, those are my trades for this week or last week. Yeah, I got a negative return on them, but it is what it is. It could have been worse with Stewart. So yeah, Angus Brayshaw, yeah, he was a pretty good trade in, and he does a Carlton and Brisbane the next 2 weeks, but I think Carlton have become easier to score against, since Neil went up. Wait, let's have a look at the Brisbane players. That oh, wait, no, just go all positions, and then last round. So yeah, McCluggage 105, Neil 117, Matheson 98. Yeah, the others are pretty low, but those three midfielders, they're probably like the main three midfielders at Brisbane right now. Matheson getting some nice centre bounces. So yeah, they gave up 117 to Neil. So I think um I think Brayshaw, if he stays in the midfield, he should be fine for at least maybe 95. I think. Yeah, Laird obviously very reliable captain on his 200th game as well. I think 200th, 250th. Scored two early goals, and I thought that he was gonna go 150 again, but he didn't take any marks, which is kind of disappointing. But yeah, still a pretty good squad though. Also very happy with Parker and Marshall. Parker is in very good form right now, so if you need a forward, definitely look into getting him in because he has some very, very nice matchups. The Pies, he will probably go 110 again. But yeah, I'm actually so happy with his revival because he had some under par premium scores while I owned him in the early stages. And then Marshall, obviously solo rock, he's always going to be good. Against Stanley. Was it Stanley? Yeah, I think it was Stanley, and no blitzards, which was good for him. So that was very good. But he does have Oscar McInerney, who is normally hard scoring for rocks. But yeah, and obviously Neil, very happy with how he has recovered from his slump in form. But yeah, moving on to my disappointments. I am mostly disappointed in myself for not thinking of the idea to loop Darcy Cameron with Hollands. So what that would have meant was that I'd have to trade Jed before I got to look at Carmichael's score, which in hindsight, like it's not a problem at all. Actually, yeah, not a problem. Like Jed was never gonna go big against North Melbourne. I mean against Sydney, but like even a 90, I'm still happy with trading him. I'm just not happy with who I traded him to. So yeah, that if I had done that, it would have allowed me to put Cameron to the forward line, move either English or Marshall into the rocks, and then loop Hollands with Darcy here. It would have gained me 66 points. So that's really frustrating. Also Merritt, I knew he wasn't gonna be that good, but like I didn't think he would be this bad against the Giants as well. Like good matchup, so that should be like an easy 90, you'd think, with someone like Merritt who just went 172 the week before, and but Parrish was back, and then there was also the Perryman tag worry. I'm not sure. I didn't watch the game, so I'm not sure if he did get tagged, but I'm hoping he did get tagged because 55 is unbelievable considering what he did last week. Um, yeah, and also there's a slight worry about Sinclair. So he has Brisbane and Sydney next 2 weeks. Um, might get tagged by Ryan Clark in the last round. But last 3 weeks, I'm pretty sure his scoring has dried up because of Hunter Clark coming back. So yeah, that's why there's been a drop in form. So St Kilda have been playing Hunter Clark at halfback ever since his return 3 weeks ago. So as Clark is like one of the better ball users, he's been like taking some of Sinclair's ball. So that's why you should not bring in Sinclair, and Sinclair, but owners should hold because he's still a top six defender, just slightly overpriced at the moment. And also, Mills vice captain against North Melbourne. I thought that was a guaranteed 120, but he scored 89. So Mills it's typical Mills recently, to be honest. Actually no, not really, but yeah, I was thinking of this game, but it just always seems like when you have so much confidence in Mills to do well, just doesn't he doesn't do anything. But yeah, you would have expected Mills to go at least 120 against North Melbourne. But yeah, that was my team for last week. Also, happy with Teagle's score as well. Outscored both of my starting rocks. But yeah, I'll move on to this round. So I've drafted a couple of trades. So I want to get rid of Cameron, even though Grundy is out for the rest of the season. I don't want to trust Cameron anymore because he's either trash or Cox takes his rock minutes. So, yeah, I'll get rid of him, especially when I can get Bailey Smith in this week, who has Giants and Hawthorn next 2 weeks to finish the season. He should be very, very good. And second trade, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I've considered trading Merritt down to Oliver, since he has Port Adelaide and Parrish is back and he's in bad form. Well, not bad form, but like coming off a 55 game. Yeah. But at the moment, I've just got a downgrade from Hoff to Rankin, so I can have some money next week to maybe upgrade one of these two defenders, because I'm pretty happy with the rest of my team. Like McRae, he's revived his scoring. Well, not really, but he should be fine because he has Giants and Hawthorn. He should be nice 100 average. Neil might get tagged this week by Windhager against St Kilda, but he should be good against Melbourne. Yeah, and I need to get rid of Cameron before I get rid of Neil this week, so there's no point in trading him anymore. Yeah, so it'll probably be either Crisp or Sicily. Yeah, Crisp has some tough matchups, so yeah, I'll hopefully Sicily has some nice matchups as well because Bulldogs give up relatively decent amount of points to halfbacks. But yeah, so that's probably my plan for this week. I'll play around with this second trade a bit more. So yeah, definitely considering Merritt to Oliver, but seems like quite a risk. But yeah, I'll probably think about that a bit more. With my captains this week, I am almost 100% certain that I'm just going to be switching these two around. So Laird into Mills, because Laird versus North Melbourne. Yeah, hopefully he can do what Merritt did and not do what Mills did. But yeah, I trust Laird to do a little bit closer to what Merritt did than what Mills did. So yeah, he will be my VC since they play on early Saturday. Yeah, Saturday 2:10 p.m. And then Mills plays on Sunday against Collingwood, who have been giving up a stack ton of points to midfielders. So even though he had a subpar game against North Melbourne, yeah, I'm still confident that he'll do well against Collingwood. But I'm also considering Steele on the Friday night against Brisbane, um, but probably won't do that. Also, Brayshaw against West Coast is a good captain option, so it will be either Mills or Brayshaw as my captain. Um, and in terms of looping, I'm not sure if I'll do anything this week. I might do something with these forwards, so Cumberland for Brody. But Brody does have West Coast, so I don't think there's much point in looping this week. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so no looping. In terms of other trade targets, so obviously Bailey Smith is probably number one trade target this week, considering his matchups. And he's probably bottomed out in price now, so you can jump on confidently. So I think Aaron Hall. Wait, I think he's injured, right? I think he injured himself, so he's probably not an option anymore. But if he does get up, he's an option if you want to take a risk. But I think the risk is too great. If you do want to take a risk like that, though, I think Zorko is a way better option, and he's cheaper as well. So, he's strung together 3 games, for returns of around an average of like 90, 92, 93-ish, which is pretty good considering his price. You can invest that money elsewhere to like an Uber premium. So yeah, definitely consider that if you need a value defender, especially if you're trying to jump off Crisp. Yeah, I think Gorn might be an option, but like he has some. He does. Okay, if Pitnet is back this week, then I'm not. I wouldn't be very confident in Gorn. Because like Gorn's got 152, but he was playing against Cox and Darcy Cameron, who aren't known to be good ruckmen. And when he was playing forward, who was he playing on when he was playing forward? It wasn't. I don't think it was more. It was probably like. Let me just have a look at the matchups. Nathan Murphy. I'm not sure who actually played on him. It was either Murphy, Moore, or Howe. It was probably Moore, to be honest. And then Howe on who? Howe on Brown? I don't know. I won't worry too much about that. But the point is that Gorn's matchup was really easy, so I wouldn't say he's a lot for this week to bring in. Also, Luke Ryan is a good point of difference if you want a premium defender rather than Zorko. He's done very well the past month, I think. Yeah, 101, 124, 98, 151. So ideally you would have brought him in for his 151, but I think so like if you were thinking about getting a Sinclair or something, I think you should definitely get Ryan over him because he has a couple of okay matchups. Like I don't think West Coast is very easy for defenders, but I'm not sure about Giants. I think Giants are alright for defenders. But yeah, I definitely think Ryan over Sinclair is the better option. And obviously Oliver this week is not one of the top trade targets, even though he has. Oh yeah. As I said before, I don't think these matchups are that hard anymore. So, I think Oliver, you can definitely bring him in. But yeah, against Collingwood was definitely probably the week that you wanted to bring him in. I didn't do it because I had other issues in Anderson and Short. But I brought in Brayshaw instead, which is um, probably quite a big difference, but that's all I could do. And last of all, I think Swallow as a mid defender. Gold Coast have lost all of their halfbacks to injury, so I'm assuming by watching the game last week and seeing these two scores that they've put him at halfback. And I'm pretty sure last year when he played halfback, he scored like this as well. So it's definitely a beneficial role change um, for his fantasy scoring. He does have Geelong this week, but it's at Metricon, so I wouldn't be worried too much about matchups. He also has North Melbourne in the last week, so yeah, there's definitely a a lot of defender options this week to consider. But yeah, so those are probably all the trade targets for this week, and a lot of them, quite a few of them are point of differences and risky. But to climb the ranks, that's probably what you have to do in these last two rounds, unless you're in a top 100 position and are looking to hold rank. In that case, probably just um, first of all, not take advice from me, but also just do what the crowd is doing, I guess. Um, but yeah, that'll probably wrap it up for this week's round review. Um, yeah, good luck with this week, everyone, and good luck for the final 2 weeks, and happy trading. I'll see you guys next week.